So Jim and I met at work at Gabby's. I remember the first time I met him, guy walks in wearing a hospital shirt, flannel pajama pants, baseball cap, walks straight in, goes straight to the coffee machine, pours himself a coffee, and I'm thinking to myself, who is this new regular? And he turns around and he shakes my hand, he's like, oh, hi, I'm Jim, I'm the manager. My first thought was, ooh, he's cute, and we were pretty much inseparable from that point on. We wanted children. And I was kind of bugging him about it, and he was very adamant that he's like, well, can't have children without having a house. And I was like, okay, then we get a house. He's like, we get a house. There were little things at the beginning, like the site not just seeming very secure, you know, sort of the door flapping in the wind. Like there were little things but nothing for huge concern. But what was really the major first thing was actually even before we moved in, where there was a part of our foundation wall that was removed, enough that I could stick a coffee cup and pass it through to the other side. It was our contractor at the time who brought it to our attention and was like, this is very serious, you need to deal with this right away. So that was definitely the first sign of there being a major issue. We were concerned, was it properly underpinned, or was it supported properly for the scope of work that they were doing? And what caused us to be concerned about that is that we started noticing cracks, in our stairs, in the walls, and we'd laid brand new hardwood flooring and also tiles in the kitchen, and they started to crack. So it was a lot of little things like that obviously started the concern. And then the major concern was when they actually tore down the house. And Jim called me and he said, you're not going to believe what's happening. And I was like, what? And he said, half the house is gone next door. And honestly, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, it's just not possible. So I called the city, and then I was genuinely afraid for our safety. So I called an engineer to see if it was safe for us to stay in the house. And the engineer came to my home, and he stood out front and just looked at the structure and just was dumbfounded, essentially. And he just looked at me and he said, do you understand how serious this is? And I said, yeah, I think I do. That's why you're here. And about 20 minutes later, from his car, he called us and he said, you know what? You can't stay. It's not safe for you to be there and you have to leave. Jim just looked at me and laughed at first, and I just couldn't believe what was going on. And then he looked at me and he said, as long as we have each other, we can get through this. And I said, absolutely, we can get through this. And then he looks at me and goes, he's like, I think this is exactly, he's like, so where to? And I'm like, I don't know. It had a monumental impact on Jim. Like, just the actual practicality of it was hard on him. But I think the emotional impact on him in terms of the stress was devastating for him. I think there's a lot of factors as to why Jim killed himself, but I think the house is absolutely the catalyst and what caused him to do what he did. I actually want to tell the story for Jim. I think he deserves it.